those that have followed this channel for a long time, we've got some big changes in the works. My basement workshop here is going to be slowly moving over into an outside building that is being built as we speak. The hangar that I've built campers and boats in, unfortunately I don't have access to anymore. So we've got to make some changes, and some things are underway. As far as today goes though, I've got a little weird project for my F-150 and a used cap. So let's go take a look at that. And for those that have looked at the videos on this channel going back, wow, about 10 years, this is usually where I built stuff. And then I was fortunate enough to have access to that great big garage, that great big hangar. And we built some fun things in there, and that is no longer available. So I've got a building being built that will be coming soon, and it's going to be set up on the bottom of my side driveway here. So that should open up a lot of cool projects. I want to get back to CNC stuff and a lot of woodworking things and some pretty awesome projects that I've got on the drawing board. So hopefully folks will stay tuned and keep an eye out for that. For the meantime, I'm always building stuff, trying to cram in projects, and I just haven't had time lately. But for today, I've got this 2016 F-150 I've had for a little while, and I need to help a family member move soon from the East Coast to the Midwest. And I wanted to have some dry storage in the back of the bed. I do have a flat cap here, which is okay, but I wanted some more space up top. And then on top of the flat cap here, we had one of those Amazon rollout things, which again was okay. Certainly not secure, not fully waterproof, and all right for running around town, but not for long trips. The deal with fiberglass caps for modern trucks is they are crazy expensive. To get a cap to fit this 2016 would start at about $2,000 for a fiberglass cap, and there's long delays with that too. So we went the used route, and this is what we did. The big challenge with finding a used cap for this 13th generation F-150, which they started building in 2015, is Ford changed the angles a little bit. It's still a shorty, it's still a 5.5 foot bed, but the curves, the angles, and especially the tailgate have changed. So the previous versions, which is what this is, I think this came off of a 2010, 2007 F-150 short bed. Doesn't fit perfectly. The nice thing about a used one is you can get some really incredible deals on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or eBay or other places. And instead of spending a couple grand, you can find these for $200, $300, $400. And this was in really, really good shape. But here's our issue. We've got this wide tailgate here, and this is not designed for it. We also stick out a little bit far on this end. I put the cap pretty far forward, but still left some space so we wouldn't rub from the top. And this cap's in pretty good shape. It's in really good shape. But we need to address this space here. You can order a custom skirt, I believe they call them, for the door here, that is based on the manufacturer of the individual doors. And I don't have any model numbers. I've seen some folks talk about being able to track them down. I talked to a local truck place, and they were not real helpful with finding one. So I know they exist, but I don't have model numbers for that. The flip side is some of the threads that I've seen on this, they're not cheap. They're $150 or so. And then you're still kind of fudging something here. So what we're gonna do is go the hardware store fudge route, and this is my plan. Here's my solution, my affordable solution to make this work for our purposes. And this is just a test piece. This is the smaller section of what would be a door frame kit. Initially I was going to try to use just some door sweeps, and I picked up a couple of those, but unfortunately those are not long enough for the whole run, and we'd have a break in the middle. And I did some tests with that, and I didn't like the way that lined up. So this is kind of plan B, and this is just temporarily put on here. And this is a door frame kit. So we've got the two side pieces here, and we've got what would be the top piece here. So top sides door seal is what we're using here. And again, this is just a test. And the nice thing about this arrangement, I've only got one screw in right here, but we don't need to drill into here. What we're going to do is use these existing holes, use some hardware with a bolt and a washer, and this is just going to pinch on here. And just to see how this works, this is just a test. It doesn't fit super tight, so there's a little bit of a gap between, but it closes up most of our width here, and any rain that would come down would come out the back, and it would make it a little bit more secure. So what we're going to do is we're going to take one of these long side runs, cut that down to fit, and bolt this on. And as far as the way this clamps down here, nothing complicated. That just shows the bolt coming through with a washer and a nut on the back, and that should pinch on there and hold that nice and tight. Here's our cut down piece. The nice thing about this kit is we've got a whole nother piece in case we screwed something up. So I don't think we have yet, but we do have a backup. And as far as that gray insulation piece there, that was another section I purchased at the hardware store. It was only $5 or $6 just to see if this would fit in the track that I initially put on there with those two 36-inch door seals, but that didn't fit too well. So like many of my projects, if I've got extra parts, I tend to put that aside, and very often it comes in useful at some point. And I've got an idea or two for sealing up some other sections of this with that section there. But here we've got our cutout piece. So let's get some hardware on here and bolt it on. I left a little bit extra weather stripping here on the end. So we've got an extra section there, and that'll cover a little bit more over on the edge. There's our trim piece with the hardware on. So let me close this up. We'll do a picture of the tailgate without the trim, and then follow up with the piece attached. There's our huge gap without the trim piece on. There's the trim piece on. And actually I've not closed the tailgate yet, so we'll do that together. There's the tailgate on. So we've closed the gap considerably. There's still a little bit of space, but it should keep the majority of water and spray out. I think that looks pretty clean. We left a little bit of extra here on the edge. There's a little bit of a rubber piece here that's with the cap. We could trim that off too, but just a little bit extra there. And that ties through on this end. And I think that'll work. Again, still working on some finishing stuff here just to kind of clean that up a little bit. But for the time being, I think that'll work. Super easy to do. Thanks very much for taking a look.